Hi, Minesh Baxi here, and who does not like to travel? Trust me, everybody does. Me particularly as well. And guess what? We have a guest, Shyla, who
Hi,
sends
Minesh.
people to, yes, thank you, who sends people to places, right?
Yes, that's
Beautiful,
me.
exotic
Skylar
places.
Travel.
Yeah, so we will learn a few things about travel, but I also want to learn a few things about the travels you have taken. So that will be, I think, a fun thing to talk about as
Yes,
well.
yes. I've
So
been to a lot of places
yeah,
in
so
the last
why
20
don't we
years.
start there? That sounds like an easy thing. You went to Alaska recently, not too
Yes, I
long
did.
ago. So
Yes, I
tell me
did.
more about that because I'm looking to go and you're going to help me.
Yes, thank you. This summer, I went with my family. That was my dream to go to Alaska. That is something that everybody has to do in their lifetime. Um, the highlight of Alaska is obviously the glaciers. It was breathtaking and very picturesque, beautiful. And then the other thing about Alaska is wildlife. We went on a wildlife expedition. We got to see the bears and the other wildlife animals. That was about an hour. It was totally worth it. And then while we were on the cruise, we saw, the whales, the orca, parts of orca, and bald eagles coming together. It was a treat to our eyes, and sea lions too, which you don't get to see in any other places. All of them together, but they tend to migrate to south once the winter sets in Alaska. So that was a good time. So to go to Alaska in summer.
Very
So the
interesting.
wildlife part was the best. We all enjoyed it.
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
And so let's go back to the understanding. You came from India
Yes, I did. Yeah.
and you were not a travel agent when you came here. So tell us about your journey.
Yes, I came to US about 25 years ago. I did my engineering back home in India and then came to Detroit, and then I've been in Detroit ever since. I continued my studies in US. I went to Wayne State, did my master's in computer engineering, got a degree, and I secured a job in Visteon, which was part of Ford Motor Company, and worked there for 5 years. But I always wanted to do something on my own, start a business, which would give me flexibility in my work schedule and also the ease of raising our children who were very little at that time. Coupled with that is my passion for traveling, meeting with new people, exploring new destinations, and obviously enjoying the local cuisine. So that's what got me into starting my own business and become a travel advisor. I've
Wow.
been doing this for 20 years now.
And you've seen a lot of changes.
I've seen a lot of changes. Every day is a learning process, especially with we face a lot of challenges. People going online. There are so many online travel agencies trying to sell their product, but it's not the same as coming to a travel advisor like us.
Very interesting. So I think most people might say, okay, hey, I got a Priceline, Expedia, Orbitz,
Right.
or whatever else out there.
Right.
Why do I need a travel advisor? So I know you have had some stories and you have shared that with me before as well. So tell us a little bit about who should be thinking about travel advisor and why. When are those moments when they're like, I wish I had a travel advisor?
Right. Travel is not. It's not a product where you just buy and then you forget about it, right? It's not the end of the transaction. This is an experience, especially if you're planning an international trip and then you get stranded there because of the civil unrest or language barrier or culture barrier. You're stuck and we are just a call away. And we are always in constant touch with the clients. Everybody have their cell phone, our cell phones, so they call us in the middle of the night. We take their calls, make sure they are, that we give them a solution for their problems. And also if somebody is planning a big budget travel, like wedding and family get-togethers and a honeymoon, they're spending a lot of money. So we make sure their travel dollars are well spent, right? It's not buying one-time product online. This is the lifetime experience for them. We want to make sure that they have good memories, during their travel or during their event, and that's why you need a travel agent.
Well, I think that's a very good point because what ends up happening is we have spent so much time, energy, money invested in it. We have specific expectation of how this event should turn out in our life.
Exactly.
And some of these things are never going to happen again.
Again.
Like how often somebody goes to Alaska for a cruise? Not too often,
Not
right?
too often,
How
because
many
it's
times does one get
expensive.
married and so on and so forth, right?
Yeah.
So those are very special moments in your life. And at that time, I think one of the challenges is people don't even know why they should use a travel advisor at that time,
Exactly.
because they become their own travel advisor. They try to
Because there's so much information out there.
Correct.
They think they can manage it, and even if they can save a few dollars here and there, they're trying to compare. But they have to understand that they should get an advice from somebody that's knowledgeable, right? It's not something that you do. It's not available for something that's less than $1,000. These are all big budget travel plans. So
Correct.
you need a travel advisor to make sure you're doing the right thing. And then we advise on a lot of other things, which other travel agents, if you go online, they don't. On visa, if you're going international, we make sure their passports are valid for 6 months before the departure. We make sure they have a visa to that country. And then if they're planning other excursions, we tell them, you need to have visa to those countries, otherwise you will not be able to. Somebody visiting from other countries should, as long as they have a valid visa, they'll be able to travel to Caribbean. But they're always, they're lost and confused what to do, because this is not something that would be advised online.
Exactly. Yeah, so let's talk about the two groups here. The first group of people who have special projects, special events, those are taking place. These are the places that they haven't possibly been before. They don't know if something happens, how they will handle. They may not speak the language in the location as well.
Exactly.
And they need somebody like you to plan for them, advise them accordingly. And if they have challenges, and I know you mentioned about one of your friends who had an accident on a cruise, right? At that kind of time, what do you do, right?
Yeah.
And that's where I think you come as a very good source of the options
Right.
that they may not even have. Let's talk a little bit about the corporate side of the business. So there are corporations who need their people to travel from different parts of the country to other parts of the world as well. So how do you make the life of somebody who is in the corporation, the people who have to fly as well as the people who are helping those people plan to fly, how can you make their lives easier?
Yeah, we do. We have been handling corporate clients for a while, so we become very experienced in that area. For them, it's a total package. We are not just handling their travel, we are handling all the travel related services like car rentals and their hotel accommodation and their travel insurance. So they have one stop to come to, and then they get all their services as a package. So they don't have to go to multiple places for different products that they are buying or different services that they are buying. So we send them, they have a travel desk. So usually the employees of the corporation, they submit their request. This is where I want to go, and I want hotel accommodation here. And once the request comes in, we design or we arrange a package, and then we send them 3 different options depending on the type of budget the company has for that particular employee. So the travel desk will decide, we give them 3 options. Maybe it's American Airlines, Delta, and then a low budget airline, maybe JetBlue or Spirit. So depending on, the travel desk decides what the employee is going to fly and is it budget friendly, who's going to pay for it. And then, they pick the package. And we don't charge them anything extra for the other services because it's one package. They're coming to us for the whole travel. We just charge them a service fee.
Very
So that's the
interesting.
advantage of coming to a travel agent. And then their employees have one person or one company to deal with.
Yes,
So
that makes it
all
easy.
the employees have our numbers. They call us directly. They don't even go through the travel desk. When they're stuck, they have our numbers.
Well, you are a very customer service oriented person.
Yes,
I can
yes,
see
that's
that.
what I believe in. I believe in service.
And I think people need that, especially if there are important events, important travel, which you definitely don't want to make a mistake. And I think now if you're just booking a flight from Michigan to Florida, that may not be as big a deal. But obviously if you're going to planning a destination wedding,
Right.
and if you're having, like you said, a family reunion with a lot of other people involved,
And
it's
also there is, like what you're saying, there is accountability.
Yes.
If you go online, There's no accountability.
There's no
There's
accountability.
no one that's going to say, hey, I made a mistake.
Yeah.
You're going to get your refund back.
Correct.
No, but if I'm there,
Yeah.
We have an office in Southfield, and people can walk in and we are accountable. Somebody can say, you made this mistake, and we have to rectify it.
Correct. Now you have two children.
Yes, I do have two children, and my son is a junior in college at University of Michigan, and my daughter is a sophomore in high school.
Very interesting. And your husband is an engineer as well.
Yeah, he's an engineer. He works in Troy.
He works in Troy as well.
Yes.
So to wrap up, I think we should talk more about a few other trips that you have taken, so people can hear that you are not just sitting at a desk talking about travel. You're somebody who has actually traveled.
Experienced, yes. Yeah, that's my passion. I love traveling, exploring new destinations and learning about different cultures, enjoying the local cuisine. And we have traveled to Mexico, to Punta Cana, to Europe, to India, of course. We went to Taj Mahal, to see Taj Mahal last year with our family, and that was a wonderful experience. We love traveling. So in the near future, we are planning to go to Southeast Asia, Thailand and Singapore and other places.
Yeah, it's amazing. There are so many places to see.
There's so
It's
many
just
places
amazing.
to see.
So what are some of the trips that stand out in your mind? You talked about Taj Mahal. So let's talk about Taj Mahal, because I was born in Agra.
Right.
So that's where the Taj Mahal is located.
Yeah.
And thanks to
It's
you,
one
I'll be...
of a kind.
Yeah, it's one of a kind. The last time I visited Taj Mahal was in 98, 99. And I haven't been there since, because my family does not live there. But my parents obviously were there when I was born. And my goal is to go to Taj Mahal at the end of February, early March, coming up this next year, so that my children who haven't been to Agra, who haven't seen Taj Mahal, because my son is now old enough, he's going to be 12, he will remember. Yeah, my fear always has been is that I don't want to take my children to locations that I may not go back, and when they went, they were too young to remember.
Too young to remember. Right.
And again, you don't go to the same place over and over and over, because again, it's not part of your itinerary. Like I'm planning to go to Amritsar to see Golden Temple. I lived in Amritsar for 4 years, so I have some friends there as well. And again, it's a unique place to go.
Right.
Not something you're going to put your itinerary. Oh, every year I will go there. It's just not going to happen. Alaska is the same way, and you're going to help me with planning
Taj
for
Mahal
trip.
it's a monument.
Yes, it's a
It's a
monument.
monument. But when you go to Amritsar in Punjab, it's a holy experience.
Yes,
Right?
it's a different one.
So
Yes.
it's a divine place. So those are the two different things. I'm sure the kids will love it.
Yeah, they will love it. I have a friend who is well connected in that area. I used to be high school student with her, so But the idea behind it is that you are getting these experiences that are really treasured experiences, and you don't want to do anything to make it something like you regret not having all the
Yes.
not having somebody like you guide
To
them.
plan. Exactly.
And I think that's definitely what a couple of tips you might give to people when they are planning travel.
It is always, like I said, if you're planning an international trip, you have to make sure that you have a valid passport, right? And then you have a visa to that country. And then once you land there, are you going to face any language barrier? Do you understand the local culture? If you have a travel agent, they can advise. And make sure you have travel insurance wherever you travel. That is very, very important. Somebody called me today and they're going on a cruise. Their family is sick. They cannot travel. They do not have insurance. The entire cost of the package is lost.
Wow.
So because the sailing is this weekend, if they do not travel, they lose that.
Yeah,
Any travel. I wouldn't recommend it for a domestic travel.
correct.
But if you're traveling international, cruise or a package, it's 1/100th of your price,
Yes.
the total package price. So when you need it, it's there for you
Very important
instead
part.
of losing the entire package cost.
And sometimes you may have to fly the person, like you mentioned about the person on the cruise you had told me about.
Right.
You have to
They
fly
had
from
to-
Alaska.
Air ambulance. Yeah,
Yes,
they
or
were airlifted. Yes.
correct. And
Yeah. Thank God they had the insurance. If they
Correct.
did not have, they couldn't have done that. It would have costed them tons of money.
exactly, and that's what it.
Right.
Well, Shyla, what a pleasure talking to you today.
Same
I know
here.
people
Thank you.
love
Thank you,
travel,
Minesh.
so they
Oh,
love
everybody
listening to you.
loves traveling.
Oh, it's
Yes.
just a fun thing to
Yes.
do,
Yeah.
and I'm looking forward to travel. My goals are obviously to keep traveling. I like traveling 3-4 months a year minimum, and life is good.
You're
And
right.
I'm looking
You're in the
forward
right hands.
to. Exactly, I'm in the front of the right person to help me
Yes.
plan for the next year.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shaila.
Yeah, thank you,
Thanks for
Minesh.
watching.
Thanks
Oh,
for
by the way, how do
giving
they
me
get
an
hold of you? I
opportunity.
forgot to ask you that.
Okay, yeah, we have an office in Southfield if they
Mhm.
want to walk in. Otherwise, if they want to send us an email, it would be info@skywaytravel.us. And they can also make their own booking online. We have a website. It's called skywaytravel.us.
Skywaytravel.us.
Yeah. You
Perfect.
can make your own booking.
Thank you very much.
You're
Shaila,
welcome.
have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.